every moment. This is a blast.
It's crazy.
I was like super nervous before and just so excited.
Destined for greatness, destined for greatness.
It will never get old watching someone achieve their dreams. Let's recap the quarterback landings. Trevor Lawrence is a Jaguar, Zach Wilson a Jet, Trey Lance a Niner, Mac Jones a Patriot, and Justin Fields a Chicago Bear. Mel Kiper Jr. still holding out strong after a fantastic weekend of draft coverage. So good to see you, sir. Thank you so much for being with us. This is a debate, though. This is not an interview. It's a debate. Yeah.
Did you get any sleep over the weekend?
Mel's a machine. No. He's a machine. He was on Get Up this morning, with Greeny. Greeny did a great job with the draft
more
as well.
than one Mel, I think.
It's no big deal. It's no big deal because he's Mel Kiper Jr. That's why. It's not a big deal.
A few clone stats.
He makes it look easy.
Why sleep, right?
That's right.
Stephen A.,
yeah.
Who's most likely to win a playoff game this year or start in a playoff game this year of these rookies?
I would say starting a playoff game, Mac Jones. I really, really believe that. I think it's almost by default to some degree. Number one, I don't think Fields is going to make the playoffs. I don't think Lawrence is going to make the playoffs. I don't think Wilson is going to make the playoffs. So that leaves
based
the likelihood.
Off their teams.
That leaves That leaves the likelihood of Trey Lance in San Francisco or Mac Jones in New England. And I think that even though I look at the AFC East and I see Buffalo has arrived, Miami is coming, I'm going to lean on what Mac said last year in terms of New England being 7-9 with a horrid offense with their quarterback in Cam Newton that attracted COVID-19. Obviously, it compromised him to some degree, but you know what I say. He was never an accurate passer to begin with. An absolutely stud athlete, big-time athlete, but not a stud passer per se. And I think that when you look at Mac Jones, based on the years of Bill Belichick with Tom Brady, I watch Mac Jones. I've always been a fan of Mac Jones. I remember when Tua Tagovailoa got hurt, Mac Jones comes up in there, completes about 68% of his passes, throws 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I remember when they lost to Auburn that year. I watched that game start to finish when they lost 48-45. He still threw for over 330 yards in that game with 4 touchdowns. He won the Citrus Bowls against Michigan, threw 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and threw for over 300 yards. The last year's first full year as a quarterback, as a starting quarterback, the dude it wins a national championship, and as far as I'm concerned, plays at an elite level, even with Waddle going down because he still had Devontae Smith. Watch him quarterback and see Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels still in New England. If there was ever a guy that looked like a successor to a Tom Brady, it certainly don't look to be Cam Newton. It looks to be Mac Jones, and I believe come playoff time, Mac Jones will be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots.
Well, we could take Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence right off the list because the Jags and the Jets ain't making it. I think there's a case to be made that maybe Justin Fields could, but I don't love the Bears right now.
Right.
I might
offensively.
Like them,
I love them defensively.
Right. I might like them a lot more offensively if you talk to me a year from now.
Okay.
They still need work on their offensive line. So that leaves the two that you mentioned. It really comes down to which one's more likely to make the playoffs, the Niners or the Patriots. And as you know, I think the Patriots are competitive in a now competitive division. But if push comes to shove, I'd say they're the third best team in the division. Yeah. Buffalo and Miami. Miami got Jalen Waddle. Mm-hmm. Miami was better than New England last year, and they have an unstoppable, I think, kind of offensive weapon as a rookie. When was the last time Bill Belichick started a rookie quarterback? Especially when he has a guy who he's invested the time in Cam Newton. And Cam Newton, as badly as he played last year, Cam Newton got COVID without a preseason, in a new system, et cetera, and still led the team to 7 wins, came close to 9. So I think it's going to be harder for Mac Jones to replace a now fully motivated, healthy, and acclimated Cam Newton than Trey, right? Okay, It's going to be hard. Now, here's the other thing. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the starter, I believe, but he's injury-prone. So when Garoppolo starts, they're a good team. And I think they were in the Super Bowl last time he was healthy. They're going to make the playoffs with a healthy Garoppolo, or a mostly healthy Garoppolo. At some point along the way, he's going to get hurt. He's going to miss at least some time. I think the chances of that late in the season toward the playoffs are pretty high. And I think Trey Lance, once he gets on the field, particularly if he's been holding the clipboard for 10 weeks or something like that, is going to be able to maybe win a playoff game if they're in that position. Because he can do things that Mac Jones can't as a rookie, simply because of his ability.
Mel, before you jump in here, I just want to say one other thing about New England. Let's not forget they had the most players opt out due to COVID as well. So I don't even feel like I really know who the New England Patriots are. Yeah, to Stephen A's point, 9 of them sat out. That'll obviously be different this year. Mel, where are you on this?
Well, Dante Hightower, you're right, Molly, is a huge addition coming back after opting out. He's a leader and the centerpiece of that defense. So it will be a different team, a better team in New England. I think it's going to be interesting. And we were debating this on Get Up with the guys, with Neek and with Dan Orlovsky, about how the seamless transition from a one quarterback with one style to another. And I think it's not that easy. They seem to make you think it was easy. And in some cases, it's worked, but it's not easy. Lamar came in for Joe Flacco. And then, of course, look what happened in the playoffs. And that kind of took defenses by surprise, going from mobile to a great athlete. You see it in New Orleans. You had Drew Brees and you went to Taysom Hill. That caught defenses by surprise. Trey Lance, after Jimmy G, or working in conjunction with Jimmy G, if Jimmy G doesn't get hurt, to Max's point, Jimmy G's been good, except he's not durable. But you have Lance now, who's more of a running threat than a passing threat at North Dakota State. He brought him back this year against Central Arkansas with his legs, not his arm. Now you're coming in the NFL. Well, his legs are going to get it done early. His arm's a developmental issue, okay, in terms of accuracy. So you can work him in conjunction. Mac, you're going from Cam, mobile, runaway, single wing type, running the ball, to a pocket guy. To me, that's more difficult than going pocket to a runner who takes defenses by surprise. So I would go with Lance to play and contribute. But Justin Fields is interesting. You're kind of writing him off and saying the Bears are a playoff caliber team. And the Bears have now a quarterback who is that run threat, dual threat, that Andy Dalton isn't. So I think if Andy starts, and I would start Andy, but when Andy hits a wall a little bit and you're hitting around 500, maybe Justin comes in and gives defenses a different look, and this playoff team with Justin gets elevated.
Could easily happen.
I would not write off Justin Fields, guys.
Well, let me say this. I think you're absolutely right, Mel. I will tell you this, and I'll openly confess, I'm a bit emotional, and you don't hear me say this too often. I've been a bit hard on Matt Nagy, head coach for the Chicago Bears. And I want to give a slight mea culpa in that regard. Back-to-back 8-8 seasons, having an elite defense that slid from 4 to 14th this past year. They were the number 1 defense 3 years ago. I've been so disgusted. I haven't recovered from the fact that they moved up to grab Mitchell Trubisky and passed on Deshaun Watson and Nagy and Pace. I think that was a fireable offense to move up, to pass up on 2 elite quarterbacks and pitch Mitchell Trubisky. I think that was such a flagrant miscalculation that I think I spent too much time thinking they shouldn't have their job rather than analyzing the job that they've done. Nagy, when you look at the pieces that they have in place on the defensive side of the ball, with Chuck Pagano coaching their as the defensive coordinator, I think that they've been big time. Offensively, I look at some of the pieces. David Montgomery, Tyreek Cohen, them brothers can play. Anthony Miller, Allen Robinson, and those boys, they can play. So you are right, Mel. I think that we're sleeping on the possibility of Fields starting in the playoffs, because I have to confess, I've been a bit hard on Nagy because Nagy actually can coach, and I can't deny that.
Let me say quickly.
Let me just say one thing, Max. One thing real quick, Max. When you look at Matt Nagy, and I'm with you, Matt Nagy didn't utilize Trubisky properly. Why did Trubisky go to Buffalo? Because Josh Allen runs the ball. Trubisky can do that for them better than Matt Barkley could. So it was Matt Nagy. Maybe Matt Nagy hopefully learned that we didn't utilize Trubisky properly. You better utilize Justin Fields properly. He is the ultimate dual threat quarterback. Trubisky could have